The Lord of the Night. A title respected by everyone in the nightlife industry of Sotenbori. A title oozing with elegance and hospitality, befitting of a manager that brought a dead cabaret back to life. His policy of customer is king, as well as how committed he is to that policy, exemplifies the length that the man will go to keep the customers happy and paying. He can turn problematic situations into profitable ones, and profits he does generate, as the #1 cabaret in Sotenbori. The Lord of the Night, the title of Goro Majima. The thing is though, the Lord of the Night is just a persona. A persona Majima dons to generate money, all to be a part of something once again. Even though Majima has a knack for business, he doesn't really want to stay in Sotenbori any longer than he already has. The truth is, Majima is a prisoner in Sotenbori, an animal trapped in a cage made of gold and jewels, where any wrong move could land him on the wrong side of a bullet. There are a multitude of events that got him to where he is now, and in this video, we'll take a closer look at what got him to that point in time.
Oh yeah, forgot to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Chip, and welcome back to a deeper dive on Goro Majima Part 2.
But before we begin, I'm gonna have to ask you to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want more content like this. Only 8% of you are subscribed, and you subscribing will help the channel out a ton with the algorithm, and hitting the bell icon will let you know whenever I post, so you never miss a video. After the commotion that I covered in the previous video, which you should totally check out, we find Majima taking a small break from the situation. His suit unbuttoned, his bow untied, he walks onto a small balcony for a quick smoke break. He leans onto the railing and looks towards the city of Sotenbori, with not even a smile on his face. Even after handling a commotion like that, he doesn't seem proud about it. If that were me, I'd probably start cheering at the staff office because remember, not only did he solve a situation, he made sure that on that night, the cabaret gets paid. Most people would probably be celebrating before the night even ends, but not Majima. When he takes his smoke break, he just seems done. It almost looks like he has had enough of this job. A man with a reputation as the Lord of the Night who doesn't seem to enjoy being one. As he looks towards the city, he sees a man dragging a cart on wheels, carrying what looks to be trash. As Majima observes the man, he stops in his tracks and looks back at Majima. This would be terrifying for literally everyone in the world, but Majima doesn't seem to be too distraught. He's still uncomfortable with this, so he heads back inside, not really finishing his cigarette. This scene only spans about a minute long, but it gives us a glimpse into who Majima truly is. We'll talk about his Lord of the Night persona in a bit, but what this scene tells us is that there are still things about Majima that we as the audience don't know yet, even after that long introduction to him. Why doesn't he seem so happy with his job? How did he get stuck with the job in the first place? And why does this old man know where Majima is and who he is? And what is this guy's motive? Like the last video, these are the questions that the game will answer over time. But for now, let's head back into the cabaret with Majima. Majima heads back in prim and proper, but still without his trademarked calm smile and perfect attitude. He is greeted by the floor manager thanking him for resolving the commotion that happened earlier, and says that he's sorry that things like this happen so frequently. Majima asks the floor manager if the people have calmed down. The floor manager tells Majima that the customers have calmed down and the orders are stacking up because the drinks are all paid by another person. Majima then asks if there were any injuries, to which the floor manager replied that even with a staff member getting shoved, no one got hurt, which is a good thing. Majima made sure that the hostess who got felt up gets a bonus, as well as telling the floor manager to keep an eye out for the guy who caused the commotion in the first place, as, you know, he might run away to get away from the tab that he's about to rack up. With all of that out of the way, Majima asks about the staff. The floor manager says that although there aren't any problems, there's a hostess who seems to be butting heads with some of the other girls. And although the floor manager has tried to talk to her about it, she's been uncooperative. Majima then decides to check up on the hostess himself. When he checks up on the hostess, he advises her to build a friendly rivalry between her and the coworkers that she's beefing with. Not only does it encourage productivity, but it also brings out the best in not only them both, but also everyone else around them. As he puts it, he needs girls who are popular with the guys and the other girls. Not only that, but he also gives some money and a couple days off to one of his waiters whose father is sick and needs treatment. Elaborating on the previous video, here are another set of examples as to how great Majima is as a manager. He asks the FM if there were any injuries because if there were, he'd have to make sure that the people get treated, all in part of his customer is king policy. He also made sure that the hostess who got sexually harassed gets compensated for her problems, so that she and the people working for him don't get unmotivated and stay loyal to him. He also tells the floor manager to keep an eye out for the problematic customer, as he might bail out of the cabaret without paying due to the amount of money that he'll have to pay out, keeping his business card with him in case he tried to pull a fast one. He also takes good care of his subordinates as well, giving advice to competitive new staff members and letting them have their family time whenever they need to. He's not only called the Lord of the Night for being a spectacle, but he's also the Lord of the Night for the way he manages the cabaret, its customers, and its staff members. He is a prime example of how a manager should be. All the things he does in an effort of keeping the place running as smoothly as possible. After checking in with the staff, a waiter comes up to him saying that there's another problematic customer. After finding out that you know what? Calling this guy problematic customer or rowdy customer is getting really tiring. I know he has a name, but I'm just gonna call him Jim. Yeah, that'll work. So, after finding out that Jim is the one paying for all the new drinks, the new problematic customer has gone down all of the top vintage wines and has started going down the list of the cabaret's best whiskeys and brandies. His bill has gotten up to 4 million yen. Majima, of course, finds this irritating because this might lead to Jim not paying for the night's bill at all. So he asks the waiter to bring him to the customer. The waiter brings Majima to the customer, and he already seems to know the person with a light when finding out who he is. However, he doesn't reveal who the man is to the waiter. He starts the conversation with the man with courtesy, excusing himself for interrupting the customer's night and asking the customer to come with him to the office to talk. The customer obliges, but only because it's a request from the manager himself. The waiter seems worried, but Majima assures him that he'll take care of the customer and tells the waiter to get back to work. They head into the office. As it turns out, the two are acquainted with one another, but not exactly in the most friendly manner. The customer's name is Tsukasa Sagawa, and he seems to be the superior of Majima, with the way Majima calls him Sagawa-han, which is a honorific for someone you respect but are not particularly close with. It's the honorific san, but in the Kansai dialect. Majima complains to Sagawa to behave when in the cabaret to not drive off the other customers. Sagawa, sarcastically, apologizes to him for getting a little bit carried away. Here we also see their hierarchy on display. Majima gives Sagawa a hot towel, and when Sagawa puts on a cigarette in his mouth, Majima lights it for him. This lets us know that Majima is this guy's subordinate. Sagawa continues, with him congratulating Majima on the job well done for dealing with Jim. As he puts it,
さすがは真島五郎。蒼天堀の夜の帝王だ。
Sagawa knows that Majima is a great manager and tries to convince Majima that being a civilian suits him. Majima, however, confirms our suspicions that he doesn't enjoy his job whatsoever, saying, despite having things that most people want in life, money, standing, fame, and women, those things are irrelevant to Majima, much to the confusion of Sagawa. What Sagawa says here describes Majima's situation perfectly.
そんなことは望んでないってか。皮肉なもんだ。そんな誰もが羨む立場を得たお前だけがただ一人、この町で別の何かを求めてる。幸せってやつはいちいち意地悪にできてるらしい。
But Sagawa also knows why Majima is unsatisfied, and why he intends to keep it that way.
でもまあ、この現状をお前が気に入らないのは当然だ。これはお前への罰なんだからな。
Here we find out why Majima hates his job. He hates it because the job that he got wasn't even something that he wanted to do in the first place. When he calls Majima the Lord of the Night, it almost sounds like he's making fun of the title when other people clearly see that title as a form of respect. Majima doesn't hesitate any longer, and he asks Sagawa when he can get back into the Yakuza. He also calls Mr. Sagawa Mr. Owner, which honestly can have two different meanings. It means that he's the owner of the cabaret, as well as the owner of Majima himself, which sells the dog on a leash dynamic that these two characters have. Sagawa responds jokingly,
何度目だろうな、そのセリフ。どうしてそんなに極道に戻りたいのかね。俺にはわからないよ。
And here we finally find out his title in the Omi Alliance. He's the retainer to the 5th Omi Alliance chairman, as well as the patriarch of the Sagawa family. So he's a pretty big hotshot of the Yakuza. Majima presents Sagawa with this month's take, and says that if he continues like this, he'll get to the 100 million yen that he promised Sagawa by next month. The promise was that Majima has to get Sagawa the money, and Sagawa will talk to Shimano about bringing Majima back. However, Sagawa feigns ignorance, saying that his memory is a little hazy. When Majima confronts him about it, Sagawa asks for another 500 million yen instead. Majima gets pissed about this, of course, and tries to fake a punch against Sagawa. But Sagawa shows no reaction to it. He just mocks Majima for not going through with the punch.
なんだ、殴らねえのか。まあやれるわけないけどな。
Sagawa explains that this is the world that Majima is bent on getting back into, because Majima is a cash cow. There ain't no way that the Yakuza will let him go, because he makes money for them. Sagawa tries to tempt Majima to continue living the civilian life, but Majima isn't having it, saying,
上等や。5億やろうが何やろうがなんぼでも稼いだるわ。極道に戻るためやったら、俺は何でもやったるわ。
Sagawa then tests Majima, asking if he could carry out a hit if it meant going back into the family. Majima doesn't say a word, stuck in place by the proposition Sagawa gave to him. Even though Sagawa claims that it's a joke, he can tell that the question had something to back it up, even if Sagawa doesn't say anything. Before he leaves, however, Sagawa decides to screw with Majima even further.
あ、そうだ、一つ忘れてた。ここのホステスにノリコっているだろう。
それがどないした？
そいつ、明日から別の店でやらせることにしたから。即戦力が欲しくてさ、ノリコここのナンバーワンなんだろ？おあつらい向きかと思ってよ。本人にはもう伝えてあるから、こっちの方がよろしくな。売り上げ落ちないように頑張るよ。なんせあと5億稼がなきゃなんねえんだからな。
Majima's reaction here is so genuine, it kinda hurts to see. The dynamic between the two is absolutely toxic. One is controlling everything the other does, while the other can't do anything but comply. Here we can see that the Lord of the Night is not only a facade that he puts up at work, but one that he puts up on a daily basis. Not only with his customers, but also with his employees and rivals. The person that everyone knows is not exactly the true him. He is an animal jailed in a lavish cage, having to conform to a life that he doesn't like, becoming a plaything for the person in control. However, this question that Sagawa gave Majima is going to start the downward spiral that will have this caged animal break free. Tune in next time as we discuss the downward spiral that created the Mad Dog of Shimano.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Now, usually this last part I would have some kind of notes, maybe even a script, but right now I just want to be a little bit more candid with you guys because we have just reached 500 subscribers. Now, that in itself is insane to me. I started this channel out at first just for fun, I liked making videos, but the fact that people come and watch and enjoy the content that I'm creating is something that I cannot take for granted. And so, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for watching my videos and continuing to support this channel, because without you guys, this channel probably wouldn't exist anymore because I wouldn't be making any more videos. Speaking of videos, there are a ton of video ideas that are going to be coming up in the near future, and some of them will not be Yakuza, but I hope that you guys will enjoy those videos just as much as the videos that I've been putting out right now. But don't you worry, Yakuza will still be a part of this channel through and through. It's my personal favorite video game series after all. Also, please do comment down below about what you want me to talk about, because I love seeing recommendations for new games, and if it fits with the channel, I would love to talk about all of them. And so, do not hesitate, just comment down below about what you want me to talk about, because who knows, it might be the next topic on the list. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel out a ton, and I would appreciate every single one. Also, if you have anything that you want to discuss about, please do leave a comment down below. I will try to reply to every single one. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember to stay kind and stay chipper.